Stoop! If you are ABC'd-minded to this clay book, what curios of science, please stoop in this aleph bed. Can you read, since we and thou had it out already, its world? It is the same told of all. Many. Miscegenations on miscegenations. Tekel. They lived and laughed and loved and left. For sin. Thy kingdom is given to the Medes and Parsons, the meander tale, a loss and again, of our old Heidenberg in the days when head in clouds walked the earth. In the ignorance that implies impression, that knits knowledge, that finds the name form, that whets the wits, that convey contacts, that sweetens sensation, that drives desire, that adheres to attachment, that dogs death, that bitches birth, that entails the ensuance of existentiality. Cry not yet, there's many a smile to none with city maids per manser, and the park so dark by kindlelight. But look what you have in your hand, self. The movables are scrawling in motions, marching, all of them ago, in pit-pat and zing-zang, for every busy earwig's a bit of a Tory tale to tell. Once upon a time, and two's behind the letters leap, and three's among the strubbly beds. And the chicks picked their teats, and the dumpkey he began. You can ask your ass if he believes it. And so could he me only wallops have heels. That one of a wife with faulty barnets. For then was the age when hoops ran high. Of a Noach and a chopwife. Of a pomful grave and a family of levity. Or of golden youths that wanted gelding. Or of what the mischief miss made a man do. Mal Maridad, he was reverso gassed by the frisk of her frasks and her pretty perique. May fay, she's la gay, this snaky woman, from the trippery toe expectum pellic. Veil, Valentine eyes. She's the very besh Winnie blows neon good. Flow in, flow an, ho-hor. So it's sure it was her, not we. But lay it easy, gentlemen. We are in rearing of a Norwig. So, weeny beeny veeny teeny, come see, het vis if he newt. Lissome, I am doing it. Hark, the corn entreats, and the larp notes priddle. He dug in and dug out by the skill of his tilt for himself and all belonging to him, and he sweated his crew beneath his auspice for the living, and he earned his dread, that dragon valant, and he made louse for us, and delivered us to boll weevils, amen. That mighty liberator, Unfru Chicta Uru Wicru, and begad he did, our ancestor most worshipful, till he thought of a better one in his windowless house, with that blush mantle upon him from ear's end to ear's end. And would again, could whispering grassies wake him, and may again, when the fiery bird Decembers, and will again, if so be soothed by elder to his youngers shall be said. Have you wines for my wedding? Did you bring bride in bedding? Will you hoop for my deading? Is a wake? Ishkabaum. Anna Muckandule, did you drink me doornail? Now be easy, good Mr. Finnimore, sir, and take your leisure like a god on pension, and don't be walking abroad. Sure, you'd only lose yourself in Heliopolis now, the way your roads in Capelvestar are that winding there after the Calvary, the Northumbrian, and the Phibsborough, and the Wadlings Raid, and the Bower Moor, and wet your feet, maybe, with the foggy Jews abroad. Everything's going on the same, or so it appeals to all of us, in the old homestead here. Aisy now, you decent man with your knees, and lie quiet, and repose your honour's lordship. Hold them here, Ezekiel Ardens, and may God strengthen you. It's our warm spirits, boys, he's sporing. Demetrius O'Flanagan, cork that cure for the Clancartys. You swamped enough since Portobello to float the Pomeroy. Fetch near here Pat Coy, and fetch new you Pam Yates, be neither angst of Ramowich. Here's Lumbos, where misties swaddle 'em, where meeches lodge none, where mysteries pour kind on, oh sleepy, so be yet. I've an eye on Queer Bean and old Kate and the butter, trust me. She'll do no juggly-wuggly with her war souvenir postcards to help to bid me Muriel tippers. I'll trip your traps. Assure there, and we put on your clock again, sir, for you. Didn't we, share stutterers? So you won't be up a stump entirely, nor shed your remnants. The stern wheels crawling strong. I seen your missus in the hall, like the Queen of Era. It's herself that's fine too. Don't be talking. If you only were there to explain the meaning best of men, and talk to her nice of gold and silver, the lips would moisten once again, as when you drove with her to Findrinny Fair. What with reins here and ribbons there, all your hands were employed, so she never knew was she on land or at sea, or swooped through the blue like Airwinger's bride. She was flirtsome then, and she's fluttersome yet. Her hair's brown as ever it was, and whiffy and wavy. Repose you now, fin no more. For be the same sake sib substitute of a hooky salmon, there's already a big roady ram lad at random on the premises of his haunt of the hungered bordels, as it is told me. And either he cursed and recursed and was ever seen doing what your four-footler saw, or he was never done seeing what your cool pigeons know. Weep the clouds aboon for smile-down witnesses, and that'll do now about the fairies and the frailties. But however 'twas, 'tis sure for one thing, what Sheriff Torah voucher fors and Mapkick makes put out, that the man Hum the Cheapner Esquire, overseen as we thought him, yet a worthy of the name, came at this time-coloured place where we live in our parochial firmament, one tide on another, with a bum-rush in a hull of a wherry, the twin turbine Dow, the Bay for Dibbling, this archipelago's first visiting schooner, with a Wicklow-pated and waxy wench at her prow for a figurehead, the Dead Sea dugong up-dip dripping from his depths, and has been repreaching himself like a fishmummer these 60 years ever since. His Chevy by his side, Addy and Aid, growing whorish under his turban and changing cane sugar into cellulose starch. Tut-tut says to him. As also that, batten the bulky hood he bloats about when inebriated, our old offender was humile, commune, and insectuous from his nature, which you may gauge after the by-names that put under him in lashons of languages, honain suit and praises be, and totalisating him, even hamissin of a mashin, that he, sober, serious, he is he and no counter he, who will be ultimately responsible for the hubbub caused in Edinburgh.